Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Crewe Alexandra Youth Squad Legends series. With 2 months to go in the season, I think we've made our point very clear. We are not battling against relegation. I have taken the decision to simulate the last 2 months of the season. That means, yes, we are going to drop places in the division, but I need some time to rectify the sliders to make it even more difficult for myself. I feel, yes, at the start of the season, them sliders were working a treat, but when the players started growing in overall, it became a very easy process to break it down. It needs to be just a little bit harder than that. Because you guys have been smashing it with the backstories of the players, what I'm going to do in this episode is simulate one game. We just lost against Carlisle 2-1. And then, over to the squad report we go, where we talk about people's backstories. In episode 13, Bass Music said, "Can't believe Tredina has to do a shift as physio as well because the club is so poor. Loving his white surgical gloves." In-game, I've given him white gloves, so Tredina actually has a use now, because he's working part-time as the physio, rubbing oil into Stucky. We've just drawn 1-1 against Grimsby Town. Great piece of news, we have a right-back. Strangely, this guy's called Thomas as well. Owen Thomas, Elliot Thomas, Owen Thomas. In episode 14, Stephen / Park the Bus has given us a massive backstory on Owen Thomas, so get ready for this one. For his entire life, Owen Thomas has always been told that he was never good enough to make it as a footballer. Whether it was on the playground with his friends or when trying out for clubs, he was told to keep working harder and to try again. After failing to gain a contract with Port Vale, Thomas had all but given up on becoming a professional footballer. This was until he received a text from a friend telling him that Crewe were having open tryouts and they were looking for young homegrown players. After much convincing, Thomas agreed to show up, and after a mediocre performance which made him sure he would not make it, he was shocked to discover that his name was on the final list. Knowing that this was his chance to prove everyone that has ever doubted him wrong, he plays with his heart and a massive chip on his shoulder, giving Crewe everything he has to offer every time he puts on the shirt. Wow! That's a 2-2 draw against Barnet away from home. Episode 14, a backstory for Vasil Malachias Jr. from Spencer 7. Vasil Malachias Sr. was a very promising player in Brazil. However, injuries and lack of playing time meant he could not develop to his true potential. He was a brilliant passer of the ball, but could also beat his man if he needed to. He could have been up there with the great Brazilian attacking midfielders over the years. Unfortunately, as I said, he never quite made it to that level. He decided at 23, when he still could not break into the first team at the club he was at, in Brazil, to move to Bulgaria. To this day, it is one of the oddest transfers a footballer has made, but 5 years later he gained Bulgarian citizenship and decided to play for their national team. He wasn't instantly welcomed, as you might think, but with a few world-class performances in qualifiers, the fans soon started chanting his name. He had his son when he was 38 and always stated he wished that whatever happens, for his son to play for Bulgaria. Vasil Malachias Jr. on screen was unsure whether or not to fulfill his father's wish. Sadly, Vasil Malachias Sr. passed away at 54 2 years ago. Since then, Jr. dedicates every performance to his father and has announced his loyalty to Bulgaria and the Bulgarian national team. These backstories have got depth. There's a win. Morecambe at home, 1-0. Get in! Episode 14 from self-acclaimed YT. Muller was never supposed to be a goalkeeper. His family genetic history meant his hands would be too sleepy to grip a ball. When Crewe gave him a trial, his father was devastated. So the 4-pack became a 3-pack, and Muller dropped the family tradition of being a yoghurt. Now on the 26th of March, we've just lost 3-1 to Accrington Stanley. That's quite a heavy defeat. Let's take a look at the table. We are sitting in 19th place, 5 points ahead of the relegation zone. Algerian COD legend reborn in episode 14. Tredina had an amazing childhood. Heir to a billionaire fortune, However, he would give it up in order to play for Crewe Alexandra and play in the Champions League. Yeah, good luck with that, because Tredina is absolute garbage, so him playing in the Champions League, probably not going to happen. Painful result against Colchester United, but they are one of the better teams in the league, so we should be expecting a loss like that. CGU Guns from episode 15. Oh my god, Malcolm Taylor is a central midfielder. It's Malcolm in the middle. Wow. Why am I going on Pro Clubs? Oh look, I'm on Pro Clubs. Unit commentary name. Let's go to N.
Unga.
Shush, baby. We've signed up a new youth player for the month of April. This is Jason McMahon. He's a 50 overall central attacking midfielder from Ireland. Here are the results for April 2017. We lost 2-1 at home against Yeovil Town, lost 2-1 away against Doncaster, won 2-1 at home against Hartlepool, lost 2-1 away against Leyton Orient, lost 1-0 against Wycombe Wanderers, and the final game of the season we drew 1-1 away against Crawley Town. The Scouts have let us down in May. Nobody was interested in joining Crewe's Academy, so that means that we haven't brought anybody up. And sadly, the only one available for the month of June was a player with no face, and well, we don't want any of them players in our squad. I've collected all the stats from the first season. It's taken me all night. It's 20 past midnight right now. I wanted to make sure the people that we were upgrading the potential of actually deserved the upgrade, and the people that we were downgrading deserved the downgrade. So I've got 6 people going up and 6 people going down. Firstly, Pascal Muller. Strange to see that he's only got 9 clean sheets in League 2, but he was tremendous all season, and with the training he's moved up to a 64 overall. A brilliant player. And because he's going up, someone has to go down, and this is Diego Veizaga. On paper he wasn't actually that bad. He was involved in 5 of the goals, and these are stats from games that we played, not the simmed ones. I haven't took anything from the simmed games. He has like a Tredina feel, he's just really sluggish. Also, if you're playing in the middle of the park, I expect you to pop up with a goal now and again. This guy didn't. Evelyn Nascimento da Costa definitely deserves his improvement, although average rating he was one of the poorest at 6.9. He probably had games where he wasn't doing much at all, but when he was in the mood, he was one of the better players. He was involved in 5 goals, scoring 3 and assisting 2. So you compare that to Diego Veizaga, they were involved in the same amount of goals, but this guy just felt much better. Going down in potential is Miguel Yotun. Not because of his performances, but because he's been out for so long. Owen Thomas is on the way up, and that's probably not surprising news because he has been the underdog story of this series so far. Starting at a 35 overall, he fell like a 50 overall straight away, and now he's nearly at a 50 overall. Also at the back end of the season, he got himself involved in goals. One he scored himself, and another he made. Alexandre Morelos is going to have his potential decrease, and this is a very strange one. At the start of the season, he was looking really promising. He got involved in 4 goals in the first 8 episodes. But we've only seen him get involved in 1 goal since. If you look at the end of season stats, Morelos and Veizaga are very similar. Both haven't scored a goal, both have assisted 5. But it's even worse. Morelos is in a more attacking position. He should be grabbing at least a couple of goals every season. He just hasn't. I can't actually remember a chance he had all season. I just can't remember him being in a position to score. Vasil Malachias Jr. is going to improve. He has been an absolute rock. 7.4 average rating. Going down is Richard O'Byrne. Now, you guys might not know a lot about him, and that's exactly why he's going down. He's been with us through the majority of the season, but he's never done anything. And then to rub salt in the wounds, he got injured, broken ankle, out for 3 months. Archie Davis had the highest average rating out of every single player in the squad. Fair enough, he only played 8 games, but in them 8 games he did make an impression. Tadej Tredina, his potential has already gone down. I did that in January. And for people who don't know how to actually bring the potential down, it's just like the potential boost glitch, however you're basically making the value of the player go down instead of up. He's been involved in 17 goals in total, scored 8 of them, assisted 9. However, he just feels really poor. His growth through this season has been good, so maybe there is still time for Tredina to prove me wrong. Star of the show, Theo Stuckey. Maybe not the best player of this season because Müller was tremendous in the net. However, his stats are quite insane. He was involved in 20 goals. He scored 17 of those goals, 3 assists. He's grown by 10 overall thanks to player training, and he will start next season one of the key players in the squad. Another player that's already gone down is Martin Ranglov, and he is just pathetic. End of. He is history. Contracts are going to play a massive part in keeping a player at Crewe Alexandra. The bigger the contract, the more likely the player is to stay at the club. So this is going to be a fine balancing act. The board have actually been very kind to us. Our transfer budget and wage budget are ridiculous for this division. But I really don't want to use all of it because I think that might make things a little too easy. I don't think Crewe have got a transfer budget in real life of 3.4 million. On the other hand, even though it is a low priority for the board, I don't want to be running a loss through the season. I want to be making profits. So what we're going to do here is play smart. I don't think Owen Thomas is going to attract that much interest. Even so, I'm going to raise his salary to a massive £7,000 a week. Theo Stuckey and Pascal Müller are the ones that will probably attract the interest. And that's the reason why I'm offering them to £10,000 per week each. Archie Davis just feels like he has that something special about him, so I will be offering him £5,000 per week. I really do like Vasil Malachias Jr. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's never going to be that player that people talk about straight away when you say Crewe Alexandra, but he's very crucial to the success of the side next season. And that's the reason why I'm going to give him £9,000 to make sure, hopefully, he stays at the club. Plymouth Argyle, Mansfield Town and Portsmouth all go up to League 2. Wycombe Wanderers got promoted through the playoffs. We don't even need to scroll down to see us. 19th place, Crewe Alexandra. We finished on 48 points. And for the first time in Youth Squad Legends, we're going to have a look at the major leagues and see who won them. Firstly, the Premier League was won by Chelsea. A massive 90 points. This one's absolutely crazy. In France, Monaco are champions. Paris Saint-Germain all the way down in 5th. Bayern Munich won the Bundesliga to Dortmund in 2nd. Roma took top spot in Italy with Juventus a close runner-up. Finally, in Spain, Real Madrid were champions, just 1 point in front of Barcelona. And they were just 1 point in front of Atletico Madrid. This has been Cutsy. Thank you for watching this episode of Youth Squad Legends. If you've enjoyed it, please give the video a like. And I will see you next time.